Aye, everyone. Neil Razor Runner. Keep supporting Andy and Jace on the West Ham Reunited channel. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe to the West Ham Reunited channel. Keep supporting Andy and Jace. Aye, we are massive. How many you irons? Subscribe. West Ham Reunited channel. Aye.
And we are live. We are back again on the West Ham Reunited channel. There was a little game what happened at the London Stadium yesterday around 12:30 when Chelsea come to town. And surprise, West Ham United come out with a 3-2 victory. I've had this smile on my face since about 2:30 yesterday. Mitch, we'll start with you, mate. How are you? And is it sunk in yet?
Yeah, it's sunk in. I don't think, I don't know what's wrong with me. I just think sometimes I'm just so critical that even when we win, I just feel like I've got to pluck out negatives. I don't know why. I'm bad at that. No, don't get me wrong. It was a great win. I'm buzzing about it. But I always feel like I've got to go, I wish I would change this next game, or this weren't quite right, or Antonio was still shit, things like that.
But no, like you said, mate, this is the idea of this show. It's all about opinions, and that's what I like about it. But we'll just Adam, is it sunk in for you, mate?
Yeah, it's sunk in for me quite quickly, to be fair. I say this season I go into pretty much every game thinking we can get a result because I don't really fear the opposition because we've improved that much. And I was saying in midweek, I was having a little bit of disagreement with Mitch and a few others saying, got to be positive, got to stay positive, whatever. The boys done it, to be fair. They've done really well. So, buzzing.
James, obviously, I'll come on your channel and you come onto mine on Wednesday. What scoreline did I say, mate?
I know, mate. I know. Me and you have got to start doing betting advice permanently and make a career out of it, Andy. Because I said the double chance.
100 to 1, I think.
You said 3-2, and I said the double chance, West Ham or the draw, double chance. Now, over the moon, mate. Over the moon. I thought we deserved it in the end. I really did. I thought second half we played pretty decent, and Chelsea played awful, if I'm honest. First half, it's a bit different, but we played decent. I think we thoroughly deserved the 3 points.
Yeah, no, definitely. Obviously, a lot of events, but what we'll do is I'm going to do something different tonight, but I'll just introduce everyone in the chat. Steve, hope you're well, mate. Grant, of course, if you have got time. Gents, Grant was on previously doing his Reunited 5s, another good watch, first time on the show. We've got Kent in. All right, lads, first half yesterday we showed them too much respect. Second half we got closer to them. And the first half, Silva had Antonio. Second half, he used his strength, and Bone was brilliant. Yeah, we will do, Ken. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring the starting 11s up for both people, and we might zoom in for the minute, and then we'll go back to normal in a second, gents. Mitch, we'll start with you. Was you surprised with that starting 11?
Yeah, I thought Moyes would be a lot more stubborn. Pleasantly surprised. Saw a lot of people moaning about the back five. I thought, if you match Chelsea, I think it wasn't too bad. I was quite happy with the back five because I thought defensively. Actually, not defensively. I just think the setup has been all wrong recently. I think we've been found out the way we've been playing this season went a bit stale. Wolves, City, and Brighton all kind of outplayed us. We got found out, and we did need to change it. And I think that's why I was negative. It doesn't mean that I was negative about West Ham. It was just I was negative about the performances, and I didn't think we were playing well enough. And so it needs to be changed. And I did say that, and it was changed. And I thought the change was much needed. Well happy that Lanzini came in and Diop. I thought Diop done well yesterday, as did Lanzini. And it's not a surprise because we've all been saying that they both need to come in, especially Lanzini. And it was another tidy performance from yesterday as well. Who else? I still wouldn't have started Souček. Just because I think we need to keep possession a bit more against Chelsea. But he didn't do too bad actually yesterday. He was right, but still, for me, not the same player as I used to be. But I was happy with the lineup. I thought it was a good enough lineup. And I did tweet that. I was happy with it, and I thought it was good enough to get a result. And I thought we'd get a draw from that game yesterday once I saw the lineup. I was quite positive.
James, was you surprised with the lineup?
A little bit, mate. A little bit. I thought 3 centre halves back there. We've done that at Newcastle away last year and was all over the place. But I've got to admit, they did surprise me, all 3 of them. They played pretty well together as a 3. Lanzini coming in, I could see that coming a long way. Do you know what I mean? And it was a good lineup. But I must admit, I'm over the moon for Issa Diop because now people can get off his case and start supporting the geezer rather than keep criticising him for one mistake. And we've seen it over the fan base. They're easy to sort of dig out players and give other players a pass. Start supporting Issa Diop. We've got a good player there. But I was thoroughly happy with the team though, mate. 100%.
Yeah. What about you, Adam, mate?
Yeah, I thought you could say the team kind of picked itself in a way because, I mean, we've been saying for ages how Lanzini deserves to start, and I feel like he could have started 2 or 3 games ago. So it was good to see him play. With what just been said about Diop, I mean, Cresswell, you can't really force him back too quickly. We've got a lot of games coming up. You'd rather bring him back when he's fully fit. And like I said, we've gone there to match Chelsea. Let's be honest. Like we all knew that Lukaku's coming back from an injury. Timo hasn't been firing. And when I saw both the lineups, I thought we can match them. I thought as a midfield pairing, Rice and Souček is better than Jorginho and Loftus-Cheek, in my opinion. And that was where the game was there to be won. And if we matched them, we were always going to have a chance. And I think that's why we did stick with the 5 again, even though obviously we've lost a couple of games recently where we've gone with it. I think it was the right thing to do. And Moyes got it spot on yesterday.
Yeah, no, definitely. So, Mitch, we start in the first half, mate. Obviously, it was a bit touch and go. I thought, to be honest, it didn't really seem like it didn't really seem like a London derby to start off with. To be honest, I don't know about you, boy. Sorry, I got rid of it. But if you look at with regards to the bookings, I know Jorginho got one, but there weren't really many tackles like flying around. Do you know what you sort of expect for a London derby? Would you sort of agree with that? Or?
Yeah. Atmosphere was shocking as well. I was quite unhappy that in my section, the atmosphere was very flat. Well, me and some other boys tried to get the atmosphere going a bit, but everyone around us just wasn't having it, and it was quite frustrating actually because I thought, it's a London derby, it's a big game, and it was it didn't feel like a London derby. It felt like a big game. It did feel like it was going to be a good game as well. I think everyone knew it was going to be quite tight. But we weren't as nervous today. I didn't think there was nerves around the game before going into it like there was at Brighton. I think at Brighton we knew that, they're our bogey team. It's going to be a tough game because they played a way that we struggle with, which is just constant, like just kind of pinning us in and breaking us down. But I think against Chelsea, knowing we knew it was a London derby, I think we had a bit more confidence going into it. There wasn't much nerve, so I would have liked to be a bit more atmosphere in the game. I think because of that, obviously, I think that reflected on the team as well. The team didn't show much quality. I thought the passes were sloppy. I don't think anyone played really well. I think Byron was the only good player in the first half. He pressed really well, which obviously caused us to win the penalty as well. I don't think anyone else was exceptional. I thought Johnson was really poor, actually. Was the Mount goal in the first half? It was, wasn't it?
Yeah, right on half time.
Yeah, Johnson, I didn't think he was good at all on the left side.
Yeah. So we'll sort of talk about the injuries and stuff because he was injured before that goal. He went down, so he was running back with an injury. So I know what you're saying. He was poor, but I can sort of understand why that goal went in because he went down literally after they scored. But yeah, I agree with what you're saying. But we'll get on to the first goal, gents. I said it on my fan cam with Nicky. I said I wasn't happy with that goal. I wouldn't want to have been in that dressing room at half time. Antonio, that was shocking marking, wasn't it, for the first goal?
We looked poor. We still was jump.
Yeah.
It was hard to see from my side, but I started to watch it on the replay after half time. And I watched it back and I was really unhappy with Antonio. Just a bit effortless. You're in the box. If you're in the box to mark, and you're marking the centre half, it's a big duty that you've got, and for Antonio to just show that, which we've been seeing a lot from him recently. You know, a lot of laziness, a lot of carelessness. It really wound me up, to be honest.
Adam, do you think Fabianski could have done better with that header?
Well, the problem is not Fabianski for the goal. The problem is the defending. You've got three centre halves there. You've got Suchet, you've got Rice, you've got Antonio. These are players that predominantly are good in the air. Our strength is from set pieces. So first point of call comes from who's marking. Obviously, you could argue he could do a little bit better. He gets a hand to it. I think when the goalkeeper gets that close to saving it, it's kind of annoying, but it goes in the back of the net because this is one of them, but it almost happens in slow motion. But for me, it's down to the organisation of the defending. You could say Fabianski should get his defence organised, but I think there's got to be some players out there who've got to take a bit more responsibility. That's my verdict on it anyway.
James, obviously we got a scare from the corner before, exactly the same routine. What? Wouldn't you?
Yeah. Thiago Silva, mate, scores every single time he plays against us. Do you know what I mean? He scored last time with a free header at Stamford Bridge. He scored again yesterday. Antonio, I'm sorry, but he's standing there looking at the geezer. I understand the three centre halves. They've still got they're defending, but Antonio's got literally Thiago Silva straight in front of him, and he doesn't do nothing. For me, it's a poor Fab. It's an hard one. It's an hard one with him. He's got his hand to it. He's pushed it onto the post. He's crept in. But, the defending there was shocking, if I'm honest. Do you know what I mean? And I think what it is, I think it just goes over Craig Dawson's head, I think it is. And Issa can't get there. And obviously, if Antonio's marking him, Antonio gets in front of him. Or
even if he doesn't get a touch, just bully him to try and off-put him of getting a clear contact on the... Yeah.
Anything like that. And it was a poor start, I must admit, from us. I thought the first 25 minutes, I thought we was defensively looking pretty good, but there was nothing for us really going the other end. I think we was defending well, and we were allowing Chelsea to play, but the goal sort of killed us a little way.
Yeah, that's what frustrated me, because when you play against a team like Chelsea, if they're going to score a goal, you want them to score a good goal. Like, you don't want to give them a gift, like sort of thing. You've got to keep it tight. And that was the most disappointing thing, because it was at the stage in the game as well. Obviously, we'll go and talk about the goals after in the first half, but that was at the stage in the game where they could have kicked on from there. They could have easily gone 2 or 3 up, because that's what happens when you play against these sides. They're ruthless. Once they score one, they score others. So,
and let's be honest, we know exactly what Thiago Silva's like. He done it against us at Stamford Bridge last year. Bullet header in the first 10 minutes. So we should have learned.
No, definitely. Sorry, Grant, I missed this comment, but we're sort of brief. Do you reckon because it was an early kickoff, why it played its part? The atmosphere? Or do you reckon it could be why the atmosphere was shit? In my opinion, I think it was just, a few people, I was feeling really positive about the game, thinking that we could get something, but so many people were like, the way we've been playing, I didn't think a lot of people expected us to get the result yesterday. Do you reckon it could have been that as well?
No, I don't think. No, I don't know about that. Saturday morning, it's a possibility, but actually no, that's bollocks, because second half the atmosphere was great. So they could easily have been the first half, and it wasn't. So no, I think we could. I think a lot of our fans could do a lot more to improve the atmosphere at London Stadium. I think there's times where it's great when we're winning. It is great. It's getting a lot better. But there's times in this first half, especially where in a London derby like this, we could be pushing the team on more, calling us to press, calling our players to press, like shouting and saying press and singing more songs. I think we could do a bit more. I don't think the early kickoff though was it's anything to blame.
Lawrence, we'll talk about that at the end, mate. At the minute, we're just going through a bit of the timeline of the game, but I'm happy. I'm guessing the guys have got their opinion as much as mine of what we thought of Mikel Antonio yesterday, but we'll definitely come back to it. So, Adam, we, like you said, we'd thought Chelsea would kick on, and then all of a sudden, the last 7 or 8 minutes of half-time, we just went to a different level. Bowen sort of had like a rocket up his arse, and we managed to get the penalty. Did you think he sort of got closer to Mikel Antonio, not really playing out wide? He sort of played as a second striker then, didn't he, really?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, obviously, tracking back, we were almost playing as a 4 defensively in the midfield. And then, obviously, when we're going forward, he was getting really close to Antonio. And I think that's his best position, to be honest, because you want him up the pitch more. You don't want him defending all the time. Obviously, a midfielder's job is to track back on the wing or whatever. But if you're closer to the striker, he's going to get more goals. He's going to be more effective. Antonio's going to have more support because the problem is as well, Antonio was up against 3 centre-halves yesterday. And as much as physical as he is, you need to get someone near him. And I'll touch on it in the second half as well, because they did that with Souček. I thought he got more involved in the game second half because you could kind of see he got an extra 10 yards further up the pitch. And there were times where there was a bit more link-up. So, yeah, for me, Bowen was almost playing like a second striker at times.
James, there was no doubt on the penalty, was there? But you've got to give Bowen a lot of credit for closing Mendy down.
Bowen was first class, mate, yesterday. And I'll give him a rating of 10 out of 10 because that is what a striker does. Work rate, excellent finishing, one-touch stuff. Yeah, he was mustard yesterday, I must admit. And that is the boy that we signed from Hull a long time ago. That finish that he did do in the second half, which we'll get onto, but in the first half, his work rate was pure class. Like chasing down, lost causes and being a pain in the arse, really. And I must admit, he won us that penalty massively because he put pressure on Mendy, knowing Jorginho was going straight back to Mendy. And he read it, and good players read stuff like that. And yeah, he was top draw, absolute top draw, mate. Can't praise the geezer up enough, really can't.
Mitch, I know obviously Lanzini's took penalties in the past. Obviously, Dex took the most recent penalties as well. I felt confident when Manu stepped up, but first I wanted your thoughts on the. I don't know whether any of you've seen it. I've only seen it after obviously I got back. A bit unsportsmanship from Reece James. Obviously, I don't know whether it's just because cameras
I've
don't.
looked into that. I haven't really seen it. I haven't watched. I watched much of the day. I didn't really see anything. I know Lanzini spoke a little bit words from after, but I haven't really seen it.
Yeah, so in other words, as Manu was stepping up, he was literally shouting at him, doing as much as he can to put him off, which I think's absolute disgrace. I don't know whether that hardly happens, and it's just where the cameras have picked it up. But we'll get to other people's opinions on that. But what did you think of the penalty? And it was great pen for Manu, wasn't it?
Yeah, I thought he placed it really well. Set the keeper the wrong way, and if you do that, you're always going to score. Very calm, composed. For me, I'd like to say I think Lanzini is a regular now. I really hope he can continue his sharp play. He seems to be improving since the start of the season as well. He's getting a bit sharper, getting back to full fitness. And I hope he can become a regular starter in this squad now, and maybe have a bit of rotation, with Ben Rahman and Fornals. But yeah, I was impressed with him yesterday as well. I thought in the first half, even though he didn't do too much, he was always tidying the ball. Never gave the ball away. Kept it simple.
He always makes space, doesn't he? He always makes space to receive the ball. That's the good thing.
Yeah, exactly. He's always offering himself to the ball. And he's got really good energy, and I say this all the time, but I love his energy for West Ham. He loves the club. He's got a good buzz about him whenever he's on the ball. Just like Fornals, actually, he's got a really good energy about him. I love seeing that, and I'm so glad Manu came back into the side yesterday and he scored, because he can only do wonders for his confidence.
Definitely. Adam, obviously you sort of shook your head when I mentioned Reece James. A bit wrong, really, as well, isn't it? And your take on the penalty.
It is wrong, but we had a discussion about a London derby. You kind of like to see them sort of things. I think it's a bit of fire in the belly from both players. I did like it when Lanzini's reaction was class. I thought when he scored it. That's what I love. He's a proper. He loves the club, as Mitch said. Like, you got to bear in mind, I think he goes down as one of the best players in recent history for West Ham in terms of the goals he scored in big games or whatever. I've lost count how many goals he scored in the London derby now. Like, he always steps up in big games, and he was so composed when he got the ball and put it on the spot. It was brilliant penalty. Brilliant penalty.
James, obviously you were watching it on the telly. Did you wonder at first what was going on? But then it was good from Manu that he stood up for himself, so to speak, wasn't it?
Yeah, I could see it, mate. I could see it from the camera angle. When the TV was on, you could see Reece James like going berserk at him, trying to put him off. Manny, never in doubt, mate. Argentinians don't miss pens. That's one thing I will say. And when he stepped up, And what I didn't like was Antonio took the ball and Rice told Antonio to put the ball down and get away, which was
Right,
brilliant
yeah.
from
So
Rice.
I didn't
Brilliant.
see that. Right, no,
Yes.
that's
Fucking good.
Right,
Fair play to him.
and he told Antonio, nah, get out of it. Right, let Manny take it, and Manny takes it and buries it. So that was absolutely first class. Reece James. Let's be honest, you've got to have the dark arts in football if you're going to win stuff. And he was trying to do the dark arts. He'd come back and bit him squarely on his arse. But great penalty, especially under that pressure, and especially when we missed the last one at the LS through Mark Noble, I think it was. So it was a big pen.
See, I'm not happy about that. If what you said is true, James, because this is the first I've heard about it, and my initial reaction to that is that they would have organised who the penalty taker was before the game, and Moyes would have said it would have been would have been Lanzini. So the fact Antonio's been, came in that ego again, which at the moment I can't stand, and he's wanting to take the pen, winds me up. I like he's hungry, but he's got. I don't know.
He's not a penalty taker, Mitch.
He's
we
not.
all know it.
He really ain't.
Right. We all know it. And anyone who does think he's a penalty taker is bloody deluded. Like Declan Rice is more of a penalty taker than Antonio, because
Craig Dawson is more of a penalty taker than Mikel Antonio.
That's what I'm saying. So
I wouldn't have minded Big Craig flipping stepping up yesterday. Would I?
Any of them, but
I don't know about that actually.
And what it was when we were seeing that, I was like, "What are you trying to do to us, mate? Are you doing this for yourself, or are you doing it for the club?" Because
that's what it feels like at the moment.
Yeah.
With him.
Yeah, no, definitely. Sorry, Ken, I've missed so many comments because we're getting so. The atmosphere first half is joining for a lot of games. That's true. I did see a lot of empty seats at the start of the game. To be fair,
Yeah.
Lawrence is trying. I thought, Byron. We'll move on to that. Exactly. What James has done. Lanzini plays like he's got wind mirrors on, and his awareness is outstanding. Yeah, that's the one thing. What you can say is he's never lost that. He's lost that half a yard since the injury, but his football intelligence he hasn't. And Grant actually made a good point when we was on there earlier as well. Is like you said, it's a breath of fresh air, and he does love the club, and that does mean a lot. You still need you probably don't look like the but he speaks very good English as well. Like when he does interviews for the clubs like that, so obviously he's made the effort to understand and communicate. Obviously, it seems like a little thing, but in a football squad, it does mean a lot. Steve saying never forgot his goal last. Yeah, no, definitely. Kent saying what reached happens a lot, but yeah, obviously it's just because we've never seen it. 50-50, Antonio can strike a ball cleanly. In the US, we call it trash talking to unnerve a player for a big shot. Well, okay. And one incident, obviously, we won't talk about too much, was I thought Soufal had his first goal for the club when his shot was cleared off the line as well, wasn't it? Before that incident, I thought what response that was. So, Mitch, second goal for Chelsea. Talk to me. What was going through your head?
I was fucking furious. I thought Diop and Johnson could have done better. Not Dawson, Johnson, Diop and Diop.
See, I love Mitch. He's just fucking straight to the point, isn't he? This is why I say this is not suitable for kids. This channel, because he just gets straight.
People will say I'm negative, right? And I'm thinking, look at that man up there. Love
but,
Mitch.
like,
I
saw it, and as soon as the ball went to the left, I thought I can see this cunt at the back post. Diop, look, if Johnson's not back, look, Johnson should be back. I don't care if you're injured. It's your position. It's your marker. You've got to be sprinted back because he's open. So blame goes to him and Diop, because Diop didn't have a marker. His marker wasn't in there. There was no one he had to mark. So he could have easily just gone, Mount's behind me, I'm going to go and mark Mount. But no, they left him open, and I was furious because we had enough men there for that goal to not happen. It was a stupid goal. Basic goal to concede, like you
can't take nothing away from the strike, though, can you?
Yeah, but Fabianski should have saved it. He's near post. I think, I think Fab's been great for us recently, and he's really proved me wrong this season. I thought, Ariola would be starting, but he's done really well, Fabianski. But he should have saved that. He should have done better for that goal, I think. But at the same time, like, what is the position all about there with Mount? Like he's just in so much free space in a dangerous area. But
I saw Zuma. He was not
fuck.
fucking happy when that goal went in. He was going fucking berserk.
Was he? Well, neither was I. I was furious, mate.
Yeah. Adam, your thoughts, mate?
Well, Mitch has said some decent points, but he's missed one big one. Declan Rice is the main fault for that goal, in my opinion.
Yes. Sorry, mate. Yeah, you're right.
There we go.
You're
right.
right.
He was the best player on that pitch the first however many minutes, 40 minutes or so, and then he gave him a goal. You can't give the ball away in the sense. Yes, there's a lot that should happen after that, but the problem is we'd had the ball. When we scored the equaliser, we had about 3 or 4 minutes of constant pressure. We had enough chances to get the ball out wide and put the ball in the box. We sort of overplayed it. One loose ball and then the ball up the other end in 30 seconds in the back of the net. Yes, there's a lot of things you could play in that time. Johnson's obviously got an injury in the whole of this process where he's obviously not marking his man at the back post because obviously he's struggling to get back. Could argue Fabianski could do better, but Mount's got so much time to pick his spot, and it is a great finish.
And that's the thing; he had too much time, way too much time.
Yeah. But yeah, for me, it all starts with Rice. He was having a blinder of a game, and then he did that. But to be fair to him, he never let his head drop.
You could tell him. I saw it because obviously you can see. That's what when it's live on games as well. Sorry, James, I'm going to come to you. You see the camera go straight to Declan Rice at half time, and you saw him. He was kicking the floor. He was absolutely like he knew. But James, talk to me. What's your opinions, mate?
I heard about that with Declan Rice, but that's one mistake he's done in his whole entire season. I think for us, so I think we need to give him a little bit of a break. He's entitled to. But if Ben Johnson's not injured, I think Ben gets back there. You've got to respect it for what it is. It's a world-class pass from Ziyech. It's a world-class finish from Mount. Fabianski should save it, though. I agree with Mitch on that. 100%. I don't believe it is Issa's fault. That's one thing I do disagree. No. Issa's turns around. The ball's coming over. He's thinking Ben's there, and Ben's miles away. He's literally respect Mount.
I still feel like top-class quality, experienced centre-half. Say it was Van Dijk in that position. That wouldn't have been a goal. I think he would have chosen. He would use his own initiative and think.
But you've got to look at it, though, Mitch. You've got to look at it. Ben's massively out of position there. It's no different.
It's Johnson's main fault. But Diop could have done. He could have marked him. He could have for the goal.
I think if we're going to be harsh, I think that's being harsh on Issa. Really is. But listen, at the end of the day, Ben was, and I was going mad because I was like, "What, Ben? What are you doing? You're seeing Manchester Man in front of you." Then he comes off injured, so you got to give him benefit of the doubt, ain't you? Let's be honest. But I think I agree. Fabianski should be saving that, and I don't care what anyone says. Near post, I would have fancied Ariola to save that near post. Now that's gone in at the near post. If Mount smashes that across the goal and it goes in the top corner or bottom corner the other side, then it's unstoppable. But near post, I think Fab should be getting there. If I'm honest, well, he's getting a touch on it. He didn't even get anything on it. I don't think so.
I've got to admit that's that does make me laugh. The Chelsea fans were atrocious yesterday. They were absolutely awful for like
a bit piping up for the game as well. Saying Pikey boys, no noise as well.
Yeah, I know. And then they've started singing Declan Rice is one of our own, and I was just like, yeah, whatever, mate.
Was he?
yeah. He was. He was one of your own, but you chose to chuck him under. But we'll talk about that there. Jerry saying, man, he done it right where I sit. That they weren't happy part of the ground. The smile didn't last too long. Yeah, no, I agree. Mount did what he did, but comfort knowing Rice was bragging rights with his bestie. Clinical goal. You asked for changes. Moyes change, get the win. In Moyes we trust. Let's have a look here. I think Fab doesn't have time to get set because it's taken so long. Yeah, but he should be ready though. He should be ready, Ken. I sort of agree. I agree, and I don't. A goalkeeper if you look at the angle where it is far over. It's different if it was like in the middle of goal. Do you know what I mean? It just beat him either side. You can 100%. Go like fucking hell, like that volley. As meant to know what way it's gone, but the fact that you can see it, if it goes in the other corner, you can't help but take your hat off. But the near post,
bang on, Andy. Honestly, if that goes in the far corner, if the other corner, then it's a great finish, world class, can't be touched. But I think near post, I think you should be getting there. Right, you know what I mean?
In my opinion, I'm not just saying that, but for what I think Areola would have kept that out. I think he's a lot agile. He's bigger, and I think he would have got down to block
100%.
it. But like you said, it's all about. It's all about opinions. Yeah, I heard that as well, Steve.
I have seen a video of that. It's actually quite funny. Rio
good.
gives him the finger
Glad.
back. Rio gives him the finger after.
Does he?
What's the ring finger?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
There's a
Good.
look on Twitter later on. You'll find it.
One thing I will
That's
say
right,
is because I was looking for, because obviously BT, they're pretty when their games on BT, they obviously show interview. I was actually very surprised how much credit Rio was giving us again yesterday. To be fair, if you haven't seen it, I'll share it. It's unlike. I just don't get Rio. I really don't. I don't get Joe Cole either sometimes, because one minute he's praising us, the next minute he's a bit of a mixed bag as well. Do you know what I mean? But I think we could do a whole show about flipping pundits, but we'll save that for another day.
That'd be a good show, actually. Talking about Premier League pundits.
Should we do that? A rating show of pundits.
That'd be good,
Bit of
actually.
both shows.
Yeah, here we go. Another idea. We'll do that. Right. So second half. I don't know about you, gents. I've sort of said it. I wouldn't want to be in the dressing room at half time. I can imagine Moyes being flipping fuming with what sort of happened. But we start the second half very, very well, and obviously we get the goal. Mitch, take it away. What a finish from Bowen.
Excellent, and I really rate the way Soufal got the pitch in the second half. Thought he had a decent game, but the way he worked hard for that goal, I was really happy with him. His work rate. That's what you need to do. I think Soufal, he gets more forward than Johnson in those areas. He bombs up more. I think Johnson's more composed in those defensive areas. But I think Soufal, I think showing his experience going forward, won us that goal yesterday. Got a good foot to it. And then Bowen really surprised me. He's, as me and James have said countlessly over the last month, his end product has been really poor. He's had loads of chances, and arguably, one of the most difficult ones he's had, he put away. And it was an exceptional finish, and that was the Bowen that we saw in the first few games that he signed for us and at Hull. And if we can get this Bowen firing where his finishing was as good as what it was at Hull, then that's great, because I was saying it on the last show that he does need to improve on his end product. And it was an exceptional finish, top quality.
I reckon he watched me and yours rating show, what we've done on James's channel, and he was like, "I'm going to prove you bastards wrong." I think I'm going to prove you bastards wrong. I think, to be honest.
I'm glad he does, though, mate. If they can prove us wrong, then we're winning in life. You know what I mean? But 100%.
I've sort of. Do you reckon it was a because, like you said, a few of the chances what he missed on Brighton, you can sort of say you'd expect him to score, but a couple of times were unlucky. But do you reckon he just didn't want to prove just West Ham fans a point? The Premier League, he's probably like, I am what I am. Do you know what I mean?
For me, I think Bowen's a natural talent, right? And what Mitch just said there about Hull is bang on the money. That was a finish of him when he was in Hull. And obviously, if you never see him in Hull, you would know what he was like. He was very, very good, like cutting inside, bang, bottom corner goals all the time. That's the £60 million player right there when he does that. 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Adam, mate, what did you make of the goal?
Great goal. It was a 1-2, wasn't it? Souček and Antonio that started it. Antonio done really well to hold off the defender, knock it down.
What happened to him? Do you reckon he had like a load of flipping Mars bars or had about 7 Red Bulls? Because at the start of the second half, he just turned into a different player, didn't he?
He was really good
It
second half.
did get better
Antonio.
as the game went on, to be
fair to him, and even in the first half, he wasn't great, but his work rate I thought was better than previous matches.
I agree.
He did grow into the game. He did. I think once he had a couple of individual battles at the centre halves, I think he did fancy himself a little bit. And
I don't know. I think he could have done better with like individual battles.
that you could say he could have done better. Everyone could have done better. I mean, you're going to make mistakes.
But Christensen's that thin, isn't he?
Adam, the thing is though, why does it have to take him to the second half to turn up? That's the only thing. That's the issue that I have with him. Like, we're playing Chelsea, he should be up for it in the first half, shouldn't he?
You could argue that, but at the same time, with what he's done for us this season, yes, he's going through a bad bit of form at the moment, but he has done well for us this season. Whether the last 2 games obviously haven't been to the level, you've got to give him a bit of credit though.
Oh yeah, you can give him credit, but you can't keep giving this geezer a pass. Yeah, you can't keep giving him a pass because he's Mikel Antonio all the time. And that's the thing. I'll be honest with you. For me personally, I think he gets a lot of passes, and sometimes he gets away with murder. I thought in the first half he got completely destroyed by Silva. I think Silva had him in his pocket. And I think the only reason in the second half why Antonio sort of come into his own, because Jared Bowen was stretching the play and lurking about basically behind him, basically. Do you know what I mean? But you can't. I understand it. You've got to give him credit where credit's due, but you've also got to give him criticism where it's due.
I agree.
Do you know what I'm saying?
But I think the last 2 games he has been poor. I'm just saying the second half yesterday, he was involved in that second goal. I mean, I'll go on to that Bowen. Bowen's knocking on the door for an England call-up. I really believe that. If he can... The consistency in this finishing at times has been a bit iffy.
And I think that will make him a better player. Going to play with players from England, like the likes of, I know, much as I hate him because he played for Tottenham, but Harry Kane is probably one of the best finishers in the world, not just in England. So learning, doing them sort of, and you sort of see them inside England things, and you see the pressure what they get chucked at him. I think I agree. I didn't see this stuff like that. He got warm for his lingo. He said bullshit, Zola.
What was that?
He said bullshit on BT yesterday, Zola.
Did he? Brilliant.
James, can you remember what it was over?
I can't really remember, mate. I was too grossed in the game. Probably like something mental, but yeah, I did hear about it.
Something like Rice, didn't he?
Oh, I don't know. Saw that, and then they were saying Rio, but I couldn't hear what they said. Steve saying Bowen was just simply class. Lawrence is agreeing. Yeah, Steve saying Bowen should be called into the England squad, definitely.
Bowen needs to stick closer up to that forward line.
What do you think, Andy? Like, because I'm just seeing the comments in there, and people are saying pass, no pass. What do you think, Antonio? Do you think he gets a pass more because it's Mikel Antonio and he's
I think it's because he's the only striker, mate. And to be honest, you could sort of say that about other positions what we've had in the past, like the left midfield. Payet was never going to get dropped, was he? Do you know what I mean? Like he was never going to get dropped. You could say that about even the likes of Blimmin.
I'll go back as far as Paolo Di Canio. Now, Di Canio, back in the day, used to get criticised. He never used to travel to away games, and he's God to me, Paolo. Right? He's my favourite player of all time. But he got criticism, and I just feel sometimes with the fan base, they look at him and go, "Oh, you can't criticise him because it's Mikel Antonio." And I'm like, "Well, you can because he plays in a claret and blue shirt. And if he ain't performing, and don't forget, it's not like he's on like $1,000 a week. He's on a lot of money. Let's remember that. So he's entitled to be criticised if he's not performing. So I agree with you, mate, 100%.
But I think it's the arrogance. Since he's been called up for Jamaica, it's not like flipping Jamaica's ranked like in the top 20 even in the world. They're fucking shit. And I think a basic championship striker gets called up for Jamaica. Do you know what I mean? It's not like
Morrison's in the team, isn't he?
Yeah,
Morrison.
Yeah. And the thing is, it proved it with the penalty. Like Mikel was like trying to get the ball off of Lanzini. Like I'm like,
yeah, that's shocking. That's
that's not right. Let's be honest. But praise him when he does good, criticise him when he don't, and that's the way it should be. Not pass.
I do get what you're saying, but I also do think there are some players as well, just because they look better on the eye, and even when they have a bad performance, to get away with it as well. I think Benrahma at times this season has been pretty poor, and because he does a few flicks and stuff, he looks better. Craig Dawson gets so much slander online.
Well, no, I think Benrahma's got a lot of criticism, though.
The problem is with Benrahma, he's been here 15 months. Mikel Antonio's been here 6 years. Like, it's there's horses for courses, ain't there? Let's be honest. You've got a geezer who's been here 15 months, who's come into the league, who's new to the league, and Mikel Antonio has been here 6 years. He's played in every position possible, and he should be leading by example, shouldn't he? Let's be honest. As the main man, you've got to be leading by example and saying, right, I'm the main governor up front. I've got to show
He'll be
you the way.
fucking shitting himself because I guarantee that Moyes has got a striker, and it wouldn't surprise me the first week of January a striker's in that door. It really wouldn't surprise me. The fact that he knows the game's what Antonio's going away for, you guarantee he's going to get injured. You guarantee. You guarantee. With regards to Moyes' pre-match press conference, I don't know what one you're referring to, but the one, I don't know if you saw, guys, I shared it on my Twitter. He don't know the actual presenter's name, but Tony Cottee and Scott Minto were doing it for a foreign channel. And Moyes went over and done the interview, and he was even mentioning Lingard and stuff like that. That's what sort of made that day even better, and which makes, and obviously it got mentioned. I didn't even realise, I didn't see that. Obviously Lingard not even being in the squad today, so
I saw that.
which is even more of a boost for us. But
I'd love him at West Ham again.
Yeah. 1 second, actually. Gentlemen, what did you think of Andre Marriner? I thought he was fucking atrocious.
It was
yesterday.
awful.
He didn't give us fuck all, did he? He didn't give us fuck all. Like there's the incidents where like what a few people were referring to, like Mikel Antonio. I can't remember who it was. I think it was Christensen. Literally dragged him to the floor, and he was just like, "Play on, Mitch." What did you think of him, Andre Marriner?
You know what? I don't know if it's just my memory, but I'm trying to think of like big incidents. I remember the Antonio one, and that was ridiculous. Actually, no. I thought he went down too easy. Actually, Antonio. I thought.
Did he?
I remember that one. I thought he went down really easily, and then he got back up straight away. He didn't really moan about it. And everyone was.
But it was just a cheap free kicks. What he was just giving to Chelsea. As soon as they got the ball, they were falling down like a sack of shit. Adam, do you want to add anything?
There was one incident in the first half. I remember I can't remember who got fouled. I think it might have been Kufe. He got dragged down, and we got given an advantage, and we went and played on again for an extra few seconds. There was another foul. He awarded the free kick and pulled it back to the 120 yards further back. And I thought that just summed up Andre Marriner yesterday.
Yeah. James, obviously watching it on the telly, you sort of get. Obviously, I'm right next to the away fan, so I can't really see stuff at the other end. What was the commentators or anything? Were they agreeing or just being really biased?
Yeah, I thought
Chelsea?
it was just fouls, wasn't it? Petty fouls, sort of thing, more than anything. I wouldn't say he was horrendous, but he weren't mustard. Do you know what I mean? So, I agree with Mitch on one thing. I think Antonio goes down looking for the free kick and don't get it on that one.
But everyone else does, though. He needs to. Yeah. You need to try. You need to be like like next week he's going to get absolutely bullied to fuck by Tarkowski and flipping Ben Mee if he plays. So he needs to be on. He needs to be on his game next week.
I thought the referee was okay, but just okay for me. Nothing too bad. Thank God.
No, definitely. Let's have a look. We'll sort of talk about this when we'll come back to that. Who does Bowen get in the England squad ahead of at the minute on current form?
Saka, Jadon Sancho at the moment.
Saka as well.
I don't want him anywhere near the England squad to the end of the season. You can stay away from there.
I mean, I think to be fair, Sancho and Saka get ahead of him, but I'm trying after that. Because
of who they play for, though, not on form.
Well, no, because Sancho's been playing quite well recently. He's picking up a bit of form at the moment. I watched the last few games. He's done quite well actually. And then Saka, I still think Saka's a very good player. I do think he's a good player, to be fair, Saka. He did carry Arsenal last season.
What it is with Saka, he's a utility player, isn't he? He can play everywhere.
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But you have more than two right wingers, though, in your squad, don't you? So I still think he gets in from that, after that. I'm trying to think who else plays on the right for England.
He's not getting in front of Sterling at the moment. Because
Sterling plays on left, though, doesn't he?
They could left and right. They could kind of play wherever, really. But yeah, in terms of wingers, he's not going to get in front of him, is he, in the squad at the moment? But to be fair, all he needs to do, really, Bo, is keep playing the way he's playing, keep the consistency, and just start adding more goals to his game. Like just a bit more clinical in front of goal. Obviously, there was a couple of times, even yesterday, he could have had another. I mean, there was that one where he was stretching for it to all, and he had the other one in the last minute where he blazed over as well. So
I think he could have done better for that one.
Yeah, he should have hit the target easily. But that's where he needs to improve his game. But if he does that, he's going to be knocking on the door. He's going to be knocking on the door.
I'd like him to see him in around the box more instead of dropping deep.
Yeah.
Because I think when he drops deep, I don't think too much happens. I think he does well in terms of work rate, but I think he's much more useful in around that box. Because I think, his crossing's good. We know he's got the potential to be a really good finisher, so I'd rather him be in around the box. Because that's something we're lacking at the minute. No one's got their goal scoring shoes on. Antonio hasn't, Benrahma hasn't, Fornals ain't. And Bowen, I think he's the one that's got arguably probably the best technique. So if we could get him firing, that'd be very important to us.
Definitely. I know, James, you sort of mentioned it. I haven't watched it yet on Jake's show, but my honest opinion, just obviously like 20 seconds on each, I wouldn't trust Hazard. I don't want Hazard anywhere near our club. Mitch, do you?
Nah, not for me.
I don't know. I think we could do with a player that's got a bit of bunda, to be honest.
No way, I want to see a striker.
It would well upset our squad, I think, with the wages he's on.
Yeah.
If we could get decent wages, then yeah. But it's one of those. It's a strange one. It's a strange link. It's one of those players.
30.
I think 30. He's 30 now.
He's not 30. He's 31. 30. Really? Sorry. He's 30. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
If he actually said if he came out and said I would want to join West Ham and he'd take a big pay cut, then why not? He's got the potential. He could be regenerated, but it's not a player.
I think we've got too many players, and I sort of agree with a few other comments. He hasn't got the work. When did he ever track back for Chelsea? I don't want players like that no more. Benrahma, Fornals, Bowen, all of them know if they don't work hard, they're not getting in the team. Adam, what do you think, mate? I'm sorry.
Benrahma never tracked back before.
Yeah, no, but Darry does. Do you know what I mean?
I'm saying, Hazard could potentially. Actually, no, he's old, isn't he?
Hazard's a luxury player. He's a sort of player like Ozil was at Arsenal. He wouldn't track back. I mean, Payet, even at times when he was at Ozil, he could get away with it because he was that good. But realistically, he's a sort of player. And with the Moyes system that we do, if you don't work hard, you're not in the team.
We just don't need him, mate. That's the thing. When you look at him, he's a name, but he's not the player that matches the name anymore. Do you know what I mean?
And I agree with what other people are saying. He's fucking injury prone as well.
It's not worth it, mate.
We just got rid of a player like that anyway. Anderson was a player who wouldn't track back at all. I was sick to death of him. So, not for me. Not for me.
We could do with a player that has got real pace and youth, like a Jonathan Bamba, like a St. Maximin. I do keep throwing that name around, but I
would love St. Maximin at West Ham. I would absolutely.
It'd be too expensive, I think.
Do you know who I would love to have at West Ham? It's Rafinha from Leeds.
Yeah, I would as
Brazilian. Well. Yeah. That's someone who I would love to have. And do you know what I would love to do? And this ain't me having an agenda against Mikel Antonio, before anyone says, take Antonio out, put Bowen up front, and Rafinha on that right. Then we're talking. Do you know what I mean? I think Rafinha's a quality player. He won't be at Leeds for long. I think he'll go to a big club, very big club.
I hope they really have a shit season, Leeds.
Costs a lot of money, though,
he would.
Well, they might be flipping going down. They might be going down the way they're playing.
I think they're massively in trouble this year, Leeds, and I think he's the one. People look at Bamford and say, "Would you have Bamford?" Not for me, but I think Rafinha, you definitely have 100%. If you'd be mad to let him,
definitely
stay there.
Oh, well, look, this just proves it. Look, Origi, the other features gets great. Come on, yesterday scored a
finish.
Great.
I see a stat last night, and I could not believe it, Andy. Yeah, he's made 36 appearances, I think it was, in all the years he's been at Liverpool. He's been at Liverpool, I think it's 8 years.
Wow, that's insane. 36.
36, something like that. It's in the 30s, right? I remember it last night. It was a match of the day.
That's unbelievable.
I watched it, and I was like, mate. He for some reason he likes to be glued to the bench for some reason. So I don't know what it is.
And you think of the big goals he scored there as well in the Champions League final, the one at Barcelona. Right.
I'll never forget a goal he scored against Newcastle away when they was going with Man City all the way to the end, and he scored a vital goal. Liverpool played terrible that day, and he managed to nick it. But yeah, I see it as a stat: 36 Premier League appearances, I think it was, or 37, something like that. It's in the 30s, though, 100%.
Right, gents. So we're going to move on to some depressing news. Obviously, we're not going to get confirmed. We won't know until the scan. But my heart sunk in my mouth when Zuma went down. Mitch, what about you, mate?
Yeah, I didn't think it would be too bad. I thought, the fact that you're trying to walk it off, I thought it could be a maximum maybe of like 1 or 2 months, maybe 3. But the way it's looking, it could be like a season ender. So, and I love, I'm really happy for Zuma. He's got really good energy about him, really good attitude. He's hungry. He's a winner, as he was at Chelsea. And he's a good dressing room player because he's surrounded by French players. He's always smiling. You see after match celebrations, Declan Rice is always celebrating with him. And he's arguably our best defender. So it is a massive shame, and he's a goal threat as well. Massive shame because now we've got Dawson Diop, who I don't trust as a pair against Premier League sides. It's a massive loss.
See, at first, what I was making out, and people were saying that it just looked like cramp. That's what people were saying, like really bad cramp.
People saying that around me as well, but I saw it was holding his knee. And I thought, you don't get cramp in your knee, do you?
But
I don't know what he's done, but
yeah, Adam, what do you think, mate?
Well, I said to my dad, the first thing I said to him was, he's had knee problems in the past, hasn't he? And he said, yeah. And you just think, is it a reoccurrence of that injury? And it looks like it. Which is a shame, because I was actually saying probably about 3 or 4 weeks ago, he's potentially the best player we've signed since moving to that new stadium, because I don't think I've seen a better centre-half. And the way he was playing with Ogbonna at the time, and now we've lost both of them. We've lost Ben Johnson, potentially in another 2 or 3 weeks as well. And he in terms of form, he was keeping Soufa out of the team for a number of weeks. And then obviously we had Cresswell out for a few weeks. So effectively, this season, in the first few months, we potentially lost our best back four in terms of form. Obviously, Cresswell should be fit for the next week or so, but it's a terrible injury, terrible. And let's just hope it's not too bad in terms of the length of time, because we've already lost Ogbonna.
James, the fact that he was walking and never went on a stretcher, do you reckon that is the only good thing we can probably take out of it?
Yeah, it probably is, mate. That's the only good thing you can take of it. I was devastated, mate. I was sitting in the pub, and the pub sort of just went, oh, for fuck's sake, like this. And it was, it wasn't good. The only issue is, the only bit of glimmer of light that we got is that the window is not far away. 1 month, so like 29 days, I think it is, or 28 days to go, whatever it is. And we can get reinforcements in. But do you know what? I talked about it on Jake's show earlier on. Don't be surprised if Declan goes back there with Diop. Or
fucking hope not. I really hope not.
But I can see that happening, because Declan went back in the back three there on Saturday, and he looked comfortable. He's a natural defender, Mitch. He's a natural defender. I understand it.
But going forward, we lose a good asset as well.
But I think what it is, and I know you ain't going to like this, so I'll brace yourself, everyone, for Mitch rant. But Alex Crowell will come in and Souček will go further forward, I think. And I think Alex Crowell's the man that comes in and...
He's gone.
On that note, Mitch is gone. But no, listen, I really do. I thought Deck played well in that third centre-half position. And the problem is, I think you can get away with Dawson and Diop against Burnley, maybe Southampton, teams like that. Against Arsenal, I think you're going to have to go with someone who's world class, and Declan Rice is world class in my opinion. And if we can just sort of get through it until January, you might be all right. But we're going to have to spend in January on getting a centre half here also.
Obviously, we've got the Man City connection with Newman. Do you reckon he's on that phone 24/7, trying to get Ake over the line, Adam?
I think we need to stop signing.
Yeah.
The left-sided centre-back is what we needed anyway.
Yeah. On loan, though, for me. I think he's a loan signing.
Yeah. The classic West Ham United loan to buy. That's all I say.
I think we'll moan about loans, but I think he's that kind of player that we should loan, because it's a 50-50. He ain't been great for the last 2 years. So it's one of those ones where we need to try before we buy, I think, on this occasion.
See, I'm just seeing in the comments there, like someone just said, I think it was Grant said that we're playing our best player out of position. Let's remember, Declan Rice was a centre half once upon a time before he went into a DM. I know he's world class. I know he's world class DM. I understand it, and it's gut wrenching. But if you're playing against fast people, you need quality players at the back. And I don't really look at the Burnley game as an issue. I think we can get around it. It's the Arsenal one that I'm looking at with the pace around it. And I think if you have Dawson in there, all right, for how good he's been, eventually he's going to get found out. And obviously Rice, I think Rice can do that job, really can. Do you know what I mean? It's just gutting for Zuma, though. It really is. And he has been our best signing for a long time, especially in that stadium, 100%.
Yeah. West Ham Isle of Man saying apparently he heard his knee pop out, so it doesn't sound good. Great.
Yeah, that's what I heard, yeah.
Shit. What Jack, can I touch on what James said about the whole Rice thing at centre back?
Yeah, go for it, mate.
I think that's a very fair point. To be fair, now that you've explained it, I think like against Arsenal, I think
calm down, Mitch. Calm down.
I'm calm. Trust me, I'm calm. No, I think against Burnley and Southampton, I think a back four is what we should play. I think the two teams that we should brush aside really. Are two teams that we should dominate possession against. We should put the pressure on them, not the other way around like we've been doing against Brighton, Wolves, and City. So I think the back four would suit that. I would love to see in the cup game against the cup game against Zagreb this week. Alès and Baptiste both from start. See what they're made of. The two good upcoming centre halves.
I'd say one of them, not both of them.
Yeah,
one of them.
I think Baptiste. I don't think Baptiste is registered, mate. I know Alès is registered. I don't think Baptiste is.
Baptiste not registered now?
No, I'm not sure he's registered, mate.
Then I'd like to see Alès then.
Yeah, I think Kent. Sorry, I think Kent made a good point. It's to do with the way they're registered at the club. So, you don't have to declare them in the squad if they've been at the club for over 2 years and under a certain age. They're automatically can play. So I think it's like Okoflex and. If he wasn't registered, and Ekard, who we got from Chelsea, because they've not been in the club for over 2 years. I think it's something like that. But to our preview, I'd love to see the likes of Longello as well. I think he's registered. Yeah. Fantastic left back.
Ashby and all.
Ashby's the one I like, yeah.
Is Ashby a left back, though?
Who?
No, he's a right back.
Plays more on the right, doesn't he? That's the thing. I think we haven't got a left side player at the moment.
Longello's left back, and he's got.
Yeah, that's why I think Longello's a player I'd really like to see on Thursday as well. Because it's a nothing game.
Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of issues at centre half now. We've got problems there, right? But I've just thought about it. Even Kafal could go and play there at centre half. He's been there before. He's done a good job there.
Man United in FA Cup, didn't he?
100%, mate. I was just thinking that, and Kafal can do a job there, and I like Kafal as a defender. He's like that, no nonsense, get stuck in. But
it just looks like he just looked like I don't know what he does. He's like the goalkeeper from Mean Machine. He just reminds me of that. He just turns into he just goes on a mad one.
And that's what we need, really. I just don't want us to go back to a three at the back though, like having a right sider, a central, and then a left side, like say Cresswell, and then Maz, and then it's just I do like the 4-2-3-1 against like teams like Burnley, Southampton, things like that.
Yeah,
maybe against Arsenal, you might have to play a bit different, but use your best players if you have to.
Let's not forget as well, even with the Europa League games, Dawson and Diop have kept a lot of clean sheets together. I know there's
but the problem is been shocking though, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, but you only play who you get up against, to be fair.
To be honest, it's a fair point, but like as soon as what game was it? So Wolves, as soon as Dawson played his first Premier League game of the season, and we tried to actually bring the game to Wolves, Dawson was shitting himself all over the place.
Yeah, no, but no.
When we sit back, Dawson's not too bad. Like we sat back against City, we sat back against Brighton, and he looks better than because he can sit back and not do too much. But because Dawson is so slow, and that his passing is so poor, trying to keep possession and break a team down and getting hit at the counter, Dawson is not your player that you want in your team.
No, definitely. This makes me laugh. I think Steve's definitely on the wind up. Don't mean Phil Jones. Oh yeah. Anyway,
Phil Jones. He's funny. He is Phil Jones. I can't believe he's still at United. He's should be playing for like Sheffield United in the Championship.
My comments are free. That's correct as far as I understand. Yeah, Gio did a video on it. Yeah, that's cool. Right, gents. We are going to explain the next half an hour, just saying how well-deserved King Arthur is. So, Mitch, did he mean it?
Oh, mate, I want to see his eyeballs. I said it on my fan cam, which hasn't been uploaded, but I want to see his eyeballs. That's what I want to see. I want to see where he looked, because that will tell you. If his eyeballs were at Mendy, then fair play.
The pupils don't lie.
But I don't know. Like, the thing is, no one really knows. We're not inside his brain. Like, it's a tough one because it doesn't look like he mishits it, but he don't really look at the goal, look up at the goal and think, "Oh my God, he's at a goal." And it's not. I don't know. I think it's a cross. If I'm being honest, I do think it's a cross.
Adam, cross or a shot?
Well, if he's meant it, it's an absolute worldie, but he definitely he hasn't got. He's not. No. He's just missed it, I think. But I don't care. I really don't care how it's gone in the back of the net. So what matters is we've come away with 3 points. And I to be honest with you, like I thought he was having a pretty poor game when he came on at first. So
yeah.
The one thing what I will say about him was, going like what everyone says, he cannot defend. But a couple of times he had a couple of Chelsea players around him, and he just went, "See you later," and gone. That's what really excites me about him. But you need about 30 defenders to cover him when he does it. But fair play to Antonio as well, with a build up, obviously the quick throw in, and he sort of gave him the space. But James, he meant that, didn't he?
And the ball boy.
Yeah, don't forget the ball boy, Andy. The ball boy gets a 10 out of 10, mate, 100%. Riding that ball rapid. Did he mean it? No. I think he's going for a cross and he's just spooned it like he would do normally when he does a cross. But I must admit, I had to eat some humble pie last night, big time, because I was on the Facebook West Ham group, and I said Harrison Ashby should be on instead of Mezzawaku, because Mezzawaku can't defend. They all come for me when that ball went in. I was getting like, this is aged well, like, this is all that stuff, mate.
So any decision when someone's not playing well, you've got to post it, and then it comes to bite you on the arse if you just do that.
I couldn't believe it. I was sitting in the pub and my phone's going ding, ding, ding. I'm going, oh no, mate, and that ball just come for me, mate, big time. But I must admit, fair play to him. If he's meant that, it's one of the best goals of his career ever. But I think it's just a total spoon, mate, and it's gone in the top corner. So
I don't know about you, but I think I love this celebration, and everyone else. I think there's an image of Fornals, and Fornals is just like, "What the fuck have I just witnessed?"
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, I'll sit right next to you, away fans. That was an absolute picture seeing them leave. They just didn't know where to look. It was amazing. But obviously I can't repeat a lot of stuff what was what was said to them. But it just the best chant what we gave to them, and that's when they shut up, was "Where were you when you were winning?" No, when you were shit. When you were shit, and they didn't like that either. But let's have a look and see what anyone else in the comments. Kent saying he was aiming for the back post. Well, I think you should start doing that all the time. Aim for the back post and slice it. I think you'll catch a lot of people out. But I know he's not a West Ham player, but I thought how rattled was Mendy yesterday, Mitch? He was dreadful, wasn't he?
Yeah, and to be arguably one of the best keepers in the world this year. I tell you what, a lot of keepers haven't had good games against us this year.
No.
Alisson had a poor game. Martinez had a poor game against us, Villa, and now Mendy. A lot of top keepers struggle against us for some reason. I don't know why. And,
I think it's the pressing. I think it's the pressing of us. I think we press pretty well as a group, and that sort of. I must admit, I agree. He was terrible, Mendy, but I think the penalty just shook him up completely. Just literally ruined his confidence.
Because he kicked the ball straight out, didn't he? Straight after. He literally, I was like, what the fuck?
He was all over the place. And
we got on his back as well, the fans, which was great.
See, the thing is, where you're watching it from the ground, you're sat in one place. But obviously, I'm sitting there, I'm watching it, And the cameras just going to him. He's all over the place. He's like, he just didn't feel comfortable at all yesterday. Not at all.
Yeah, no. I want to talk about the substitutions, but we've sort of talked about Masuaku, obviously, him coming on. But Pablo Fornals made an appearance on the 71st minute, sorry. And that was just Pablo Fornals. I think that's the difference now with this squad, Mitch, is on deep down, Fornals and Benrahma probably will hurt him, but what they both come on and what they've done, they're doing it for the club. Don't get me wrong, they're hurting, but they've done an amazing job, didn't they, when they come on?
Benrahma looked sharp, and he looked it had a good kind of
kick up the arse, isn't it? Proper kick up the arse.
I like that.
Yeah,
he did. Sonny's been really lacking recently. Benrahma, just sharpness, confidence, and it was his first touch of the ball, I think, and it was just a simple pass, but it was a sharp pass. It was a clean pass. And
won a couple of free kicks as well, didn't he? Won a couple of free kicks.
Yeah. And Fornals, great confidence when he came on, try and pass like that. And that's great because Fornals can pick up passes really well, and I think he's really good at sit. That's one thing I will say about Fornals. I think he's actually better when we sit back and he can pick up passes and pick up balls, like pick up good through balls. Because I think that where he's at his best. I think players like Benrahma and Bowen are maybe a bit better when trying to break a team down. Don't get me wrong. I still think Fornals is good in like that system, but I think Fornals is at his best when he's sitting a bit deep and we're trying to hit on the counter and he can pick up those through balls, and I think he's I do rate Fornals. I love Fornals. I think he's a good player.
Do you reckon it's that Moyes has done a really good thing there? Because really, like you said, he's had 70 minutes rest. Maybe he just needed that a player like Benrahma as well.
Squad rotation. It's just what you need. Squad rotation.
Recharge the batteries. Adam, what did you reckon of it, mate?
Yeah, so you kind of felt sorry for Fornals. He hasn't been particularly that great recently, but he's certainly quite unlucky to be dropped.
He didn't deserve to be dropped. Yeah, I thought he played well though last game.
But that's a good thing though. It's competition for places. That's what it's all about. But you got to feel for players like Vlasic at the moment. He's signed. He's not getting any minutes. He doesn't deserve the minutes because the other players have been better than him. But when you spend that much money on a player who's not actually getting any minutes, is a bit concerning.
We looked slightly improved, I thought, in the last game he played in Europa.
He's definitely going to play on Thursday, and that's his opportunity. If he grabs it,
he needs to take it. So. He needs to take it because if he doesn't, he's not going to get picked. But there will be times, though, we will need to use players like Vlasic and Yarmolenko this month, where we've got so many games coming up. We've got to bear in mind it's about 10 games or so in the space of a month, roughly. So, they will get their chances. Yeah.
Over to you, mate.
Me?
Sorry, mate. Yeah, obviously, I know. Like, we sort of had that feeling. We were discussing Benrahma, and like you said, I think we're all Benrahma fans, but he's obviously been at it. But obviously, he's come on. Do you reckon that's a kick up the arse? What he's sort of? I'm not saying he's been playing well, but sort of put him on his toes as well. That he's not guaranteed to start.
100% agree, mate. He needs to have a spell on the bench, but I think he's a good impact sub and all. I think he can come on and that pace of his and trickery when teams are tiring, he can carry the ball. And that's one thing we've got with Bowen and Benrahma. They can carry the ball up the pitch. Obviously Fornals. It's took me a long time to sort of come to sort of like Fornals, but I think Fornals is a very, very good player. I watched him do a masterclass against Liverpool about a month ago. And I just think you've got to realise that some of these players have played in the Europa League and all. They've played twice in a week or 3 times in a week. So I think he's working it well, Moyes. He's working the rotation well. And I think Vlasic will play over the Christmas period. I think that's a given. I think certain games, maybe the Norwich game he could come in for. I would like to see Krau. I think it's irritating me that Krau's not even getting on the pitch. And
I don't think we started on Krau.
But it's just one of them ones, mate. We've got some good players, and we just need a few more. And someone put a great tweet up on Twitter. They turned around and said that we're close to sort of doing something special. And I actually said, I've replied and said we're 3 players away. I think
you're right. Yeah.
I think we're 3 players away.
Obviously we could all say flipping Messi, Van Dijk, but if you could pick them 3 players that you think would make huge difference to us who we realistically get. We'll ask around so everyone else think as well. Everyone in the chat as well. James, we'll start with you. Who do you reckon, mate?
I think for a striker, and you know what I'm going to say, this Ivan Toney for me, mate. I think if we go and get that man in, then I know people say it's not realistic. Pay the money because
I think 40 million will get him.
Yeah, and Brentford are a selling club because that's what Brentford are. They buy low, sell high, and yeah, I would literally go to Brentford, get Ivan Toney out of there, and say to him, "You've got a chance of playing Champions League football." I don't think he's going to turn that away. Obviously, I think Lingard, if he can come in and do a job, if we can get him done. But now the issue is is the centre halves because we've only got two. Like we're going to need at least one, if not two centre halves, especially with the Europa League campaign. So it's going to be interesting to see, but I don't think we're far away. A left back and all, 100% cover for left back.
Adam, what about you, mate?
Lingard's the obvious one. I think everyone thinks Lingard. He's going to come. If he doesn't come, it's ridiculous. Let's be honest at this point. Ake, I mentioned earlier, he'd be a good signing. Striker, Belotti's one from abroad. But in terms of current form, and we've used the Championship market a lot, and it's been successful for us, that Brereton Diaz from Blackburn is firing. He's on fire. And he could be a player that could be quite good for the dressing room, I think.
He's fucking rapid as well.
I think he could be someone.
He'd be cheap as well.
Do you know what? He was a nobody at
he was at Forest. He was at Forest, wasn't he?
And he was doing nothing at Forest. He got citizenship, I think it was, for Chile, right? Because I think it's his like grandmother or something like that.
And he's smashing goals for Chile, isn't he, as well?
He's scoring goals for Chile now.
And Blackburn, he's scoring every game. I think he's got a goal nearly every game at the moment. He's just shy of it. Honestly, he's firing. I mean, you look at some of the players who signed from the Championship. We talk about Ben Ramas, Bowen. I mean, there was Adam Antonio who went to Southampton. We wanted. He could have been another player. Eze went to Palace. There are some players in that Championship that could really, really kick into this team. I think he's one of them.
Mitch, what about you, mate?
Obviously, striker's the most important one. I think we need two strikers to come in. I think you can't have one striker in the entire squad. You need one to rotate for the first team and one for like cup games and other games. You need three strikers to fit in the squad. As a main one, as James said, I'd love Toney. I think you bang on there. Toney or Belotti, two strikers which could challenge for the first team. And as a backup one, I think we could look at two cheaper options like Origi and Hlojek. I know we're looking at Hlojek, but I think he's one that could potentially do well in the future. I don't think he's one that would that could come in and like smash it for us like a Toney could or a Belotti would, but he's definitely one that I'd like in the squad. A left back is so important. I think I'd love Lingard, but I think left back is slightly more important. I think a left back, I'd love Zinchenko from City. I think he's a good modern day fullback, gets up the pitch well, across the ball well, cuts inside. I think he's a more modern day left back, and can defend quite well as well. And he wouldn't be too expensive. So, and he's done it in the Prem. And I think sometimes it's important to sign Premier League proven players because they always turn out to do well. Or maybe someone like a more dynamic, pacey left back like Rico Henry, but I think he might be a bit too expensive now. Or I don't know if he's actually smashing it anymore. But I'd like a quick left back, and also a centre half, as we all said. Okay, a left-sided. We do need left-sided centre half. Out of the four centre halves, our main four centre halves, we've got Diop, Dawson, Oggy, and Zuma. Only one of them is left-footed, and I think we could do with another left-sided centre half like Ake. I'm trying to think of other left-sided centre halves there are. Obviously, I know Tarkovsky was talked about, but he's not left-footed.
Mate. Kaleta.
Is he left-footed?
He's left. He plays left-sided defence.
That's his natural position.
Okay, then if he does well, then fair play, yeah. Then and he's not too expensive, is he? I think he'd be like 15, 20 million, wouldn't he?
About 15 mil, mate. I think he's got.
Yeah.
The only reason why we mucked about with him in the summer was because, and I said this to Andy a few times. Basically, his missus either had a baby or she just had a baby. Well, she was going to have a baby. Sorry. right? And he didn't want to move his family from France over, especially with COVID and everything. So he was like, "Nah, leave it. Have the child in France." And I think possibly if we get him, then we've got a very, very good defender. Because I think he's top draw.
Good.
Kemp makes a good point here
as well.
with regards to Diaz, cost 7 million, and Adebayo from Luton as well. Good
Adam's
season as
bang
well.
on there with Diaz as well. I think it'd be great. I do think that's a great shout.
I'm pretty sure he's out of contract next summer as well, by the way.
It'd be a great one. Not maybe like guaranteed start, but someone would definitely be in the squad.
And we've got some players as well who I don't know where Blackburn actually are on the table. I'll check. I don't know whereabouts they are, but we've got obviously a few academy players. We could even loan them. Do you know what I mean? Some who are getting a return to Ben Brenton. So he's got 71 appearances, so 48 shots. So his goal conversion is 35% and his shot accuracy is 67%.
Yeah, 4th in the league. I've just checked. There's 6 points off. 7 points. Off second.
They're flying at the minute. He scored the winner on Saturday, I think it was, against Preston. Listen, if you're scoring goals internationally, but then saying that Yarmolenko scores goals internationally, so we can't go down that route. But he's a good player, mate. Maybe he's worth the risk.
Definitely. Right, gents. I'm guessing we might get a full house, but we'll start with you, Mitch. Who was your man of the match yesterday?
Bowen, 100%. Bowen. From start to finish, our best player. And I thought easily our best player, I think. I don't think anyone else. I think Rice, as you say, always had good games, but he had that big error today yesterday in his game where he done that shocking pass to cause their second goal. I don't think anyone else was anywhere near his level for the full 90 minutes. So for me, quite easily, it's Bowen.
Do you think this could really kick him on after yesterday's performance? Like psychological. Like we've got Burnley next week, and I think we'll get a lot more room, and I think he can cause some damage. So I definitely think it'll be a confidence boost.
Yeah, and finishing wise, I hope we can really kick on and be more confident in front of goal now because it was a great finish, tidy finish, as we spoke about earlier. So yeah, and obviously he was posting on his Instagram. They won that night with Danny Dyer, so I bet they had a great night, really good night last night as well.
Yeah, with Danny. Adam,
go on, Mitch.
He's gone. It's the first time Adam's lost for words.
Well, Bowen's man of the match, isn't it? Few mentions. Grant's just put in the comments Mendy for man of the match, definitely. Soufal had a good game. He had a very decent game, I thought. Obviously, apart from Rice for the second goal, he had a blinder, but that's just standard Declan Rice, to be honest. But yeah, Bowen's man of the match, and as I alluded earlier, hopefully if he continues this form, maybe he might get his England call up.
Sorry, can I just touch on something there that Adam said, actually? Me and Jazz spoke outside after the game, and the one thing I thought Soufal done very well, but the only thing I would say about him yesterday was that he didn't close down players quick enough. I thought he gave him too much space, especially Hudson-Odoi. There was one point where he drove at him, and he just went closing down. He got to the edge of the penalty area, and anything could have happened, and he just stood off him too much.
There were a few times. I think sometimes I might sound a bit stupid saying this, but I think sometimes they do it on purpose because I just think they want to keep it as compact as possible, not leave any space in the box.
But I don't think the best right backs in the world would. I think if that led to a goal, which could have easily done, there would have been a lot of analysis and that saying Soufal should have closed that man down quicker. And top sides don't let you have that space today.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say I thought he had a decent game, to be fair.
I did. Overall, he did have a good game.
Yeah.
James, are we going to get 3 out of 3 so far?
Yeah, mate. He was. I done it on mine. A Bowen masterclass, mate. He was 10 out of 10, first class. I did like that system yesterday, I must admit. Even though it was a 3 at the back, I think it wasn't like a 3. It's like a 3-4-3 type system, really. But with like 2 strikers up front, with Lanzini playing as a 10. But he was just top. I've got a lot of time for Bowen. I like Bowen. He's a good kid. He ain't got an attitude problem or anything like that. He's willing to learn. He's a lovable lad, and he's one of my favourite players at West Ham, along with Declan Rice. I think. Don't get me wrong. I like Ben Rama, but Bowen's grown on me this year. I think he's a changed man this year, and he just needs to start burying them chances, because if he does, then we've got a top player in our ranks, and future's looking bright, especially with him up top.
Yeah, no, it's a full house from me with regards to man of the match for Bowen. But I'll tell you, he's a really close second, and we sort of mentioned him. It's a Diop. I thought he was absolutely outstanding yesterday, especially the Chelsea flair, so to speak. Like Havertz, quiet game. Lukaku, how Dawson, well, even Zuma for most of it in the second half. How they kept. He only had that one chance where Fabianski come out and got it. Don't get me wrong, you could say that he's not match fit, but even a half fit Lukaku can cause some damage, in my opinion. But yeah, like you said, Soufal was probably third for me. But yeah, it's amazing times like to be a West Ham fan, and obviously, we'll be doing a preview for Burnley, but hopefully, like you said, we can make it back-to-back wins and make a statement.
What a difference a week makes, isn't it, in football? Last week, we was all sitting probably here or on the platform somewhere and saying, like, after the Manchester City game, sort of frustrating that game was. Then obviously you played Brighton in the week, and it wasn't great, but we got something out of the game in the end. We should have won the game, really. And I must admit, it was one of the... would I say that's the best performance of the season? I'd say the Liverpool one was better. I thought Liverpool one was frighteningly good. But I must admit...
I thought Leicester were great as well.
I think Leicester was good. But when I look at the Liverpool one, we was up against a team that was flying at present and hadn't been beaten, I don't think. And we took them to the sword. But listen, like I say, the future's bright, but we've just got to get through this month, hopefully unscathed, and then come January, let's see some signings at this club, because we need them.
What a stat this is from Jay Woods, Diop, 94% pass accuracy.
I did see that.
He's been nicking my stats.
No, I don't know. I don't know. I've always said this about centre-back pass accuracy. Like Dawson against Wolves had 90% pass accuracy, which looks great on paper, but he gave the ball away shockingly like 4 times. And the thing is, if players keep it really simple all game and do like the easy passes, then you're gonna have a high pass accuracy. But you know, like Diop's okay, that's good, but it's good.
I thought he's done all right.
He done well. Yeah. I agree. He done well, but I don't think his pass accuracy. I don't think his passing was like exceptional. We kept it simple and easy, which was good. But I don't think it's something to shout about. I think if you look at every game, the top centre halves have good pass accuracies anyway.
I've got to disagree, Mitch. If you're playing Chelsea and you're doing a 94% pass accuracy, and a lot of these passes were forward, not sideways and back, you've got to give him some credit. I think Issa doesn't get a fair crack of the whip, and I think all of us can agree on that. I think everyone's sort of on this geezer straight away when he's makes a mistake or he does a little error or something. Like, do you know what I mean? But Issa's
There's
a
a
good
few
player.
players like that. There is a few players like that. I say the same. That's why I say with Dawson as well. I think he gets so much rubbish at times, and his job is there to be a no-nonsense defender.
But I think what it is, the difference with Dawson, Adam, is what you pay for Dawson, you know what you're getting. You're getting a backup player who's like 2.2 million, and you're looking at him and going, right, that's going to happen. And people look at Issa and they sort of go, right, wait for a mistake, and they're on, like the whole fan base is on him like a good one. And I'm thinking, just give the geezer a break. Like as you said earlier on,
there's a price tag on Diop.
Yeah, and like you said earlier on, we played pretty well in the Europa League games. I know we've been up against poor opposition, understand that. But he still played well even in League Cup games against Manchester City at home and Manchester United away. So let's all start getting behind Issa, because I think Issa's a top player, and I honestly think he's the future with Zuma. Not right now, obviously, but we will know by the end of the season where we are with Issa. Because if he plays to the rest of the season, he performs, then we know we've got a gem there.
Definitely. Masuaku with 5 interceptions, the most against
That's
Chelsea.
if that's true, then that's actually unbelievable.
There was one stat I saw yesterday. It was Souček covered the most distance of any player.
Yeah,
I thought I know his
11
passing was
kilometres
shocking, but what he done yesterday, like he caused havoc and
him
stuff
and
like that.
Costello
And what a touch he done at the end of the game when he was running down all the crowd and stuff like that. Obviously, you can tell how much that.
Do you know what? Right, I was watching it and I was watching him do it, and my mate was standing right next to the person who was getting the photo.
Really? He should have photobombed. He should have photobombed.
And I messaged him. I went, Rick, what are you doing in that photo? He goes, yeah, come over. I think that was his he's one of his relations or something. And fair play to him though. Fair play to him. And do you know what? Also, I know. Listen, people say about Ben Rama, and he done a nice little touch yesterday. A little kid, I think, come onto a little bit, and he went over to him, gave him his shirt, and put him back in the crowd basically. And do you know what I'm loving at West Ham at the minute? Right, the unity. That's what I'm loving, like the family vibe. Yeah. Everyone's in it. Right? There's no egos at the club. Listen, I know we all sort of criticise certain players, but at the end of the day, we want to win something and we want to do something special because I haven't seen us be this good ever. So let's hope we can do it this year.
Like you said, we've made a big statement, obviously beating the top sides. But how much credit does Moyes have to get for yesterday? Obviously, he's been getting a bit of stick with what he has been doing from certain people, but he just loves playing a top side, and I just.
The thing is, it did have to change it. It did go stale 3 games in a row. It was a very stale system. And look, if he didn't change it, there'd have been I would have been Kane Moyes yesterday if he didn't change it. But he did. So yeah, credit due to him. He did change it. He did bring Lanzini in. But it was a much needed change, though. Let's be honest.
But I think also when you look at him last year against these teams, and you look at him now, last year he set up to try and nick a point. Now we're setting
too much respect to top sides, didn't he?
And now we're setting up to try and win the game. Which, let's be honest, as West Ham fans, I think we can all agree on this. If we set up in a way that we want to win the game and we lose the game, we will respect it and move on. It's when we set up to try and defend for 90 minutes in certain games, and let's be honest, we know that ain't going to happen. Do you know what I mean? But you've got to give Moyes some credit. I must admit, it's been a hard week this week. As I said, like the Brighton game was a choker deep down.
But if you said we'll get 4 points out of Brighton and Chelsea, you would have bit our arm off, really, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
We've just got it the other way around.
Yeah, and that's what it is. And me and you sat on your show, and I think you come on mine, and we said it would not surprise us if we beat Chelsea because that is the way West Ham are. So it's the West Ham way, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? You can't beat Brighton ever in the Premier League, but you go and beat Chelsea. So it's we will know more though in the next 4. Obviously, we've got Burnley, Arsenal, and then we've got Norwich, and then we've got the Carabao Cup game just before Christmas. So we've got to make sure that come December the 25th, we're still lurking around that 4th spot, if not higher. And I think the Arsenal one's massive. I think if we go to Arsenal and we get something out of that game,
Scott put.
Yeah, but that Arsenal game, it means nothing. It means nothing if we don't get a win at Burnley.
Yeah,
12k run. That's mad.
Yeah, I think Soufal was just over 11 as well. I think both of them were our highest runners yesterday.
Dre Wood, we talked about it earlier with Lanzini, but no, like you said, I'm very pleased. But do you think that's what I love about Moyes? We'll just finish it up shortly, gents. Is the players probably had today off, obviously after the result. They're probably going to training tomorrow, but Moyes and his backroom staff would make them forget about that game. They'll probably talk about it for the first half an hour of training tomorrow.
Yeah,
that's another game, and I think that's where we get. They just move on quick. Do you remember, say for example, if this was 3 years ago, we'd be buzzing about this. The players probably would have been buzzing about this for a week before the next game. Do you know what I mean? I think now it's just like that structure of the club. It's like it's like little projects, isn't it?
It is really, but it's as what Adam just said. It's all about Burnley now because it means nothing. Like next week, if we're sitting here next Sunday and we go to Burnley and we don't get the result that we,
you going, Adam? Burnley.
Super
Yeah,
game.
I'm going up on the Saturday. I'm doing over
Yeah.
2 days. Go up Saturday afternoon and come back.
So
Sunday.
if we don't get the result up there,
You go,
the
Mitch, didn't you?
Chelsea game don't mean much.
Yeah, no, I'll be going as
It's
well.
be fucking freezing.
No.
Get your layers.
Good luck,
Did
lads. Make sure you take your thermals.
Did you see Nicky with my snooze yesterday? Did you see Nicky? He took my snow. He was freezing, so he took my snooze yesterday. He was like, "I'm cold, Andy," and I'm like, "Come on, Nicky, come on." So he took that, but it was cold over there yesterday. Right, gents. So, else in the chat. If you are new around here, click the like and subscribe button because Jazz and Mike on a Monday will be back tomorrow for their fantasy football. Let's see how good they got on this week, so that's always a good watch. And then I think we've actually got 2 days, a day off on Tuesday, and then we'll be back on Wednesday for the preview of the Zagreb game. Then Friday and then Saturday we'll probably do the preview for Burnley. So another busy. Sorry, another. Oh, don't! It's been a long day. I went out to I had a party last night as well, so I'm knackered. I'm up. Yeah, it was a long day. All I remember, this will make you laugh. So obviously I got in probably about 1:45, and I was hungry. I ain't eaten pretty much all day. I went, I need a kebab, so I ordered a kebab. Yeah, this is like 1:45 in the morning. And because I didn't want to wake anyone up in the house, I'm quite pissed. I'm just looking on the Ring doorbell on my phone, so he don't ring the doorbell and wake everyone up. And then I run, so he don't ring the doorbell, and I open the door. It was like flipping Halloween, like surprise! I open the fucking door before he opened. But yeah. I didn't.
Andy going, surprise!
We are massive!
And then just nut him. Thanks for the pizza.
Bosh.
But no, it was really good. So at the party, there was a lot of West Ham fans, and then we were, a few people were at the game. We was there, and we just started. Even when the DJ finished, we were just chanting like West Ham massive and stuff like that. So yeah, no, it was really good. Great show. Catch you all later. Thanks, people. Really interesting show. Yeah, look, this is what I love about this. We've got good people who actually understand football and not afraid to say how they feel. We don't agree on everything, but what a great time to be a West Ham fan. Mitch, do you want to say anything before we go, mate?
No, just again, once again, thanks for having me on. Love the work you're all doing. You and Jazz. This channel's growing really well. And long may it continue because I'm enjoying coming on, and having good discussions with you boys. I say we're not always going to agree on everything, but that's what's so good. And you know what? And there's no animosity between us because we'll get on well anyway. So it's it's great. It's great to have different opinions because it would be boring sometimes. If we all had the same opinion, like we made with for example, like the Diop goal today. The Mount goal today, I think Diop could have done a bit better for it, but it's all about opinions, and it's great. I mean, it's a great time.
No, that really does mean a lot, Mitch. Like I said, it's not just you guys who come on; it's people in the chat. Like we've got Steve, we've got Scott. The channel is not the same without even the people in the chat, because that's the main reason what we do it for, and it's absolute pleasure. And I literally I was talking to Grant earlier, and James will vouch for this. It's so much hard work. Literally, he's like having a second full-time job. But the thing, obviously, you travel length, and I'm not hardly missing any games even as well. So it's getting about. And Adam, mate, do you want to say anything before you go? Obviously, it's a pleasure.
Yeah. Just reiterate what Mitch just said. It's a pleasure as always. But everything's growing well. Obviously, all the games coming up, there's so much content to produce. So, I'm like I said, whenever you need me on, or when the other boys in the chat or whatever, I'm sure we're there to help. So, but yeah, I appreciate what you're doing and everything.
Yeah,
and,
no, it means a lot, mate. It means a lot. And James, mate, as pleasure as always. I know you was with me. Oh, that was a late one on Friday as well, wasn't it? I was knackered. When obviously we had. Are you doing a post match with Thingy?
I was going to, mate, but he hasn't got back to me yet.
He ain't got back to it. Oh, ain't he? Oh, I wonder why. But no,
listen,
he was a top bloke. He's a top bloke. Though.
I must admit, He's a top lad. He's a good lad, Tyron, I must admit. But listen, good luck to you lads who's doing this on this channel. Obviously, it is hard work. Obviously, I do the same sort of thing on mine, but it's hard work, mate. When you're trying to please people with the content, you've got to be able to sort of keep the viewers entertained, basically. But listen, at the end of the day, I'm proud of the team. The team's flying at the minute. Christmas is coming, and listen, in 2022, let's hope we can see some glory coming to the LS. That's all I'm going to say on that.
Yeah, no, definitely. And like even taking the piss no more. We are fucking massive everywhere we go. We really are. And the clubs are like. But before we go, see Jamie O'Hara's tweet today.
Oh no! Don't get me started.
What's he said? Gone.
They're back. Hashtag Champions League.
Do you see Moore's goal? To be fair, do you see Moore's goal?
No,
I don't care.
It's world class.
I
know,
Norwich.
but that goal. I'll give credit where credit is due. That goal was unbelievable.
Was it?
No, I'll give it a look.
It's very good. Yeah,
but he's still a cock. Can't fucking stand him. Jamie O'Hara could fucking don't. I've never known anyone like it. He's like, as someone said it, it's like an ex-wife who you can't get rid of.
Yeah. You know what? I'd love it. I would love it if we beat them. If we can beat them on the 22nd of December in the Cup. Oh, mate. Listen, I don't want nothing for Christmas, Santa. I just want that win. That's what I want. Just, you know what I mean? Oh, yeah, no. I'd love it.
What can you hear, Mitch? Oh, all right.
No.
Oh, he's back.
What's going on? What is going on? Sorry, my headset is just going. Do. What's going on?
When you've done.
Sorry. I think you said enough.
Yeah, blankety blank. Look, it's like Blockbusters. Look, look. There we go. Look, oi, we are massive. No, gents, been an absolute pleasure. I hope you know a few Chelsea fans. If you see him in work tomorrow, and what the score was, just pretend that you forgot. And yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure. Great show. And I will see you all. Chat means a lot. One thing left to say is, come on, you irons.
We're fucking
Irons. Take care, everyone. See you later.
Yeah.